It's time. It's what we've all been waiting for. It is the 2025 Holiday Studio Update. A message from the Guild Wars 2 team. Shout out to YouTube and happy holidays indeed. We can start off with that. We've already been having some fun in Winter's Day, but of course it is time for ArenaNet to have a well-deserved break after shipping Visions of Eternity. So, let's go over what is going on here. With the holiday season upon us, the studio is preparing to take a short break to recharge, spend time with our loved ones, and of course, complete our annual Winter's Day achievements. That's actually big. You got to get those achievement points. And those snow diamonds as well. What the hell's up with the prices on those? Before we log off, we want to take a moment to reflect on the year we've shared. And it's been a big year, actually. VOE, a really big return to form. Much better than Jantha and Soto. I would personally say better than both combined. So a really, really big return to form there. And we've also shipped Reforged as well. Guild Wars 1 Reforged, which has done an extremely good job. It's done really, really well. Certainly beyond, I think, basically anyone's expectations on how many people were playing that. It was funny, and obviously, this is not like for like, right? Because of course, there's way more people who play Guild Wars 2 off Steam than on Steam, but the Steam numbers were getting close. I don't think Guild Wars 1 managed to actually exceed Guild Wars 2 Steam numbers when the game launched, but it actually got pretty high. There was like over 5,000 people playing, I think, on launch, which is kind of crazy on a game that's come back there. So very exciting. And well, I'll tell you what, we can talk about it here as well. I'm going to probably do a bit of a separate video talking about this, but the devs on Guild Wars 1 are popping off. A little bit of a spoiler alert. They've already added a mode that's going to be a little bit of a rework, some extra content, some alterations and changes to Guild Wars 1 with Reforged mode. So new content, they've rebalanced henchmen and stuff like that, changed the rewards around, and they're probably going to add more to this over time. But this is amazing. I am loving this, guys. Okay, I've completely derailed my own video, but I don't care because I'm actually really excited to play this. They've added official hardcore, right? Look, maybe they like my YouTube series, guys. I don't have to tell you, but nah, realistically, they probably looked at what does really well in these classic style games, classic style RPGs and MMOs, and hardcore is one of the ones that's absolutely up there. And there is actually an official hardcore mode, Doom's Covenant, in Guild Wars 1. And it's, it's more similar to like an Iron Man thing. Like if you die, your character doesn't delete itself, right? Or anything like that. You just, you just lose the, you lose the hardcore mark, right? The badge, you can just keep playing, right? But yeah, really, really cool stuff. More on that later. Stay tuned for some content there. And we're going to be restarting hardcore. But look, no. I will be doing hardcore on YouTube. Don't worry, guys, it's coming back. Fresh as well, with a new mission, a new team. But we are gonna allow me to re-rail, and let's talk about Guild Wars 2. Alrighty then, let's get to it. So, another landmark year. We have a lot to be thankful with this release for this year and the release of Guild Wars 2. Our 6th expansion stands as one of the accomplishments we're most proud of as a studio. The team poured their hearts into this release. It's been gratifying to see how strongly the community has responded to the changes and improvements we've introduced to this. Yeah, it really did feel that way. Like, I think that Jantha, like the timescale of development, to me, it felt like in Jantha Wars, they weren't able to apply everything that people didn't like about Soto into Jantha. Some of it did, but VOE feels like the expansion where a lot of the mistakes and mishaps that did happen in Soto and Jantha Wilds, they were able to implement that feedback properly, right? Way more content at the start, legendary at the start, a much more polished open world and story experience, in my opinion, a much more complete experience. Soto and Jantha Wilds did not feel complete to me. Like, that's how I always put this. Visions of Eternity felt like the full Guild Wars 2 experience, right? Where you've got bosses to fight, you've got the exploration elements, you've got the legendary endgame loop on launch too, and you've got those elite specializations all going on at the same time. So it just felt infinitely more finished than both of those expansions put together. So yeah. VOE has already outperformed Jantha Wilds from a sales perspective. Not a surprise at all. Jantha Wilds actually didn't sell super well. I think it really, I hate to say it because Jantha Wilds was not a bad expansion whatsoever, but I think it really paid the price for Soto's weak quarterly updates, right? I think that Soto and then the end of Soto really kind of soured people and got people to step back a little bit from the game, unfortunately, especially story-oriented players. And I think the biggest thing that hurt Jantha Wilds was Soto, for sure. But VOE is getting people to come back, which, it's good. That is how it works. The momentum from the expansion's release has helped grow the game. In recent months, we've seen periods where more new players joined us than any point since our 2022 Steam debut, which itself was a high watermark. Veteran players have been returning in droves. I think and that's going to be a big thing. Like, I think elite specs are really putting in the work there. And overall player activity is higher now than it has been in years. Yeah, I imagine, like flat out, I would say this is probably the most active the game has been since EOD. EOD, if we're being real, guys, was probably more active. That was like a really big rebound in the game, and it was a big expansion, a big content drop. But yeah, easily this is going to be more active than Secrets of the Obscure and Jan Through Wilds, because those expansions definitely did have their issues that ultimately didn't retain players and was not as attractive, especially to veteran players and indeed to new players, 100%. And I think elite specs like are a huge carry here. It's been energizing to see momentum like this, and it's exceeded our expectations in nearly every way. We love to see it. And of course, 25th anniversary of ArenaNet and the 20th anniversary of the original Guild Wars. Reaching those milestones while Guild Wars 2 itself is thriving feels significant. In celebration, we released a studio retrospective documentary in partnership with Second Wind, tracing our journey from the earliest days of ArenaNet to the world we build together today. A reminder of where we began and how far we've come. And yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out. The documentary is, listen, I challenge you to not feel a little bit warm and fuzzy after watching that documentary, guys. Unbelievably wholesome. Really interesting insights into the thought process, like where ArenaNet was at with how they approached making the original Guild Wars, and then indeed, of course, also the Guild Wars 2. And, you know, Colin maybe giving us a little bit of a tease as well, okay? But you go watch that as well. But yeah, amazing. I love that kind of stuff. It really puts, you know, it puts the humanity in it, right? I think it's very easy to forget that real people, right? Real people make these games. Real people, developers, they love the game, right? They love the studio, right? They're all about that, the entire process, and just really awesome to watch, right? Like the developers that were in the documentary, and indeed all of the devs at ArenaNet, just so passionate, like so knowledgeable about the game, and really big enthusiasts, like about just, you know, the world, the gameplay systems, and just the whole thing as well. I'd highly recommend giving it a watch, 100%. And of course, yeah, Reforged. We announced Guild Wars Reforged, a renewed commitment to supporting the original Guild Wars game with a bundle that includes all 3 classic campaigns in a refreshed package with updated UI, modern platform support, and improved accessibility for returning and new players alike. It's our way of honoring the legacy of the franchise and welcoming both veterans and fresh faces back to the world that started it all. You can learn more about Reforged here. And yeah, like Guild Wars 1 is actually super active right now. It's actually a great time to play. Like, and if you're looking for something super different, that kind of classic RPG approach, I'd really recommend it. I'm a big Guild Wars 1 fan. It's not going to be for everyone, so if you don't like it, then obviously, you know, don't worry, right? Like, you're not doing it wrong. You just don't like the game. That's fair. But yeah, I'm a really big fan. I think it's an excellent game, and honestly, now is a good time to play because you can actually play with other players. Like when I played the game was already not super active. Well, when I played the game, like quite a bit. I played it as a kid when it was active, but when I went back to go and do all the achievements and stuff and like do all the stuff on hard mode, the game had already like, you know, essentially gone into maintenance mode. So I basically played it solo with heroes, right? Which is nice that you can do that, obviously, for people who want to, but it is really fun to play with other people too. So you can have that experience right now. Definitely worth giving it a go for sure. And yeah, I think it's awesome that we've actually come out of maintenance mode. I think, oh, whoops, that's the wrong button. I think it's really exciting to see ArenaNet kind of take advantage of a great game. It's a big no-brainer. The game is good. The game has been around for ages. It's still there. Why not do more stuff? And well, as you can see from what I briefly mentioned earlier about the hardcore and the kind of Reforged mode, they're very clearly going to be doing new content now. They've actually already added new content. You can go to Pike and Square and pre-searing, and they've tweaked a couple of stuff with like henchmen and so on to give a smoother experience to newer players. Yeah, they're very clearly going to be continuing this game. The game is very much out of maintenance mode, which is awesome. I absolutely love to see that, and I think that just bodes really well for both the future of Guild Wars 1 and indeed Guild Wars 2 as well. And it's a smart thing to do. If you look at other games, other studios like RuneScape and World of Warcraft, I think it's a huge part of their success, especially WoW. Like WoW, I think, is the king of this. A huge part of Blizzard's success right now with their MMO is that they're running different versions, right? They're running Plunderstorm, Remix, Retail, Classic, right? Like all the different versions of Classic, right? That's a huge part of it. And I think ArenaNet can 100% do the same thing. like old school RuneScape, of course, does really well with all of their different kind of seasonal modes that they have, and indeed old school and RuneScape 3 for different audiences. It's a very, very effective strategy, and I'm really glad to see ArenaNet getting in on this, and it's already working out really well for them with Reforged, so we really love to see that. This year, we also explored bolder ways to introduce Guild Wars 2 to a wider audience. Yes, guys, we figured out how to do marketing a little bit, guys. We love to see that. We partnered with Summer Games to show the trailer in one of the biggest stages in the industry, and yeah, I was there watching it live, guys. Pretty nifty trailer, actually, during the pre-show of the Game Awards, the premier event in global gaming, reaching millions of viewers around the world. And I'll tell you what, guys, some people said this trailer was a little bit of a meme, but a couple of people in my chat actually informed me about this. Check this out. This is cool. When this trailer played on Google Trends, the search activity for Guild Wars 2 spiked massively. It was a huge spike. It was actually getting Googled more than World of Warcraft, like in the immediate aftermath of that trailer being shown. Now, to be fair, obviously there wasn't an equivalent trailer for World of Warcraft, but still, I think that's impressive, considering that usually World of Warcraft is very, very, very much like dominant compared to the search activity for Guild Wars 2. So I would say this was actually a really effective piece of advertisement and marketing actually for Guild Wars 2, and at a great time as well, because again, I do think that VOE actually is a very good jumping on point for a new player. Like, you can't really say the same thing. Like, elite specs, I feel like, are so important, because let's say that you joined on Soto. You had to play a core spec if you bought the latest expansion. That is a weird experience because the game just isn't really designed around core specs anymore. It's entirely designed around elite specs, but VOE doesn't have that problem. VOE means that you as a new player can join and play a build and play a character that actually makes sense in the context of modern Guild Wars 2, which I think is very, very good. It's a good place to be, for sure. Having those anniversaries, the documentary, and Guild Wars Reforged land during a year of resurgence driven by Guild Wars 2 VOE makes us one of the most meaningful chapters in Guild Wars history. It reminds us our story isn't just about today, but about a legacy that continues to evolve. Oh yeah, you're telling me. To everyone experiencing Guild Wars Reforged or Guild Wars 2 for the first time, returning after time away, or continuing your long journey with us, thank you for making this world and community feel so vibrant. Now we have a little bit of a roadmap. Now, this is not new stuff, guys. Like, we already know this, right? Like, because to be fair, ArenaNet has dropped the entire roadmap for the entire expansion. So this is just like a bit of a recap, really. On January 13th, we've got a balance update. Fractal Rush is coming out. That's going to be fun on 13th through the 20th. So if you want to go for your legendary gloves, that's going to be a good time for it. World versus World Rush coming up as well. And then, of course, February 3, we already basically knew this because the Wizards Vault date confirmed it, well, implied that it was February 3rd, but now we have that confirmed. And it's going to be a new raid, the raid strike system, unification, so, you know, combining those two. Fashion templates, very cool. Wizards Vault update and the Legendary Ring. Okay, the Legendary Ring is actually sick as well. Check this out, okay? It's a crab ring. So the Legendary Ring, you have a kind of sand effect around your feet and sand castles pop up and you have crabs raving surrounding you. That is really, really fun. I love that. I am definitely going to pick this up because I'm a crab enjoyer, as I'm sure many of you are aware. Like, I'm always on the lookout to fight giant enemy crab. Like, giant enemy crab is one of the most powerful enemies. Like, I'm actually really hoping that the raid boss is the crab from the story, the Seneschal of Waves. That will be really, really cool. We obviously don't know anything about what raid boss it's going to be as of yet, but that will be fun. I want to fight giant enemy crab. Let's see if we will in the new raid with the challenge mode. But yeah, you will also have miniature allied crab as your legendary ring. Now, bear in mind, guys, if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't really like crabs. They'll obviously have a toggle, right? So if you just want to go for the legendary and have that legendary piece of equipment, which bear in mind, this is a big deal. This is going to be open world, yeah? Probably. And you can't get a ring in open world right now. It's world versus world or raids. So it's very likely that they put this in the open world, in my opinion. We're also seeing the character in open world legendary armor. Bit of a hint there, in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, that's very likely to be associated with this. So you can do that. You'll also probably be able to make two of them as well, similar to World versus World. You can have double conflux, right? in World versus World, you're also very likely to be able to do that here. Again, they will give us confirmation, like more details on that as we go into, closer to release and so on, but that will be my immediate thought. The other thing here as well, I do want to call this out. I really want to know about fashion templates because I want to know, one, if it's going to be monetized, and two, if it's going to be monetized, how. I would honestly be fine with monetization, right? At the end of the day, right? This is how Guild Wars 2 works. I'd prefer it to be baseline, obviously. The killer for me is if they make this character bound, I am gonna cry. I am gonna be so sad because I think that's just such a brutal part of monetization in this game. Sometimes it's like, oh, you've got to buy bag slots on every character. Oh yeah, you've got to buy equipment templates and build templates on every character. I think it would be a real shame if this was character bound as well. If they're going to monetize it, I think it should be an account-wide upgrade rather than a character-wide upgrade. But obviously, I'd prefer it to be not monetized at all. So I really want to get some insight onto how the system is going to work, both in terms of its actual systems, of course, and functionality, and also indeed in terms of the monetization. Legendary Ring is going to be good. And yeah, obviously, I want to hear more about raid quick play. We haven't really heard much about this. I want to know what raids are going in. Is it aimed to be like a very chill experience? Like, is it 90% win rate? Like, is it like the fractal quick play? So basically you get 10 randoms in and you'll basically get to the end no matter what. How much is the Mist Ranger going to help you? I think we really need to hear some information about this as well. If anything, I actually really hope we have a, I really hope we have a bit of a beta so we can give some feedback before it kind of goes gold and gets put in the game permanently. Because I obviously have some pretty strong opinions about how to do this, right? I think it should be super accessible, super chill. I think the Mist Ranger should help you out quite a bit. I think that it should basically be like Freezy. Like the dev said on a stream a long time ago that Freezy's win rate is about, if you get like 6 or more people in, it's got about a 90% win rate. I think that's where it should be. I think people should be able to just like hit the button, have some fun, not really worry about needing to have like a proper build setup or anything like that. Just really fun, experience the story of the raids, experience the cinematics of the raids, right? And all the crazy encounters in there, and just have a little bit of fun. And then the NPCs kind of help you out and make sure that you don't die. But yeah, we'll obviously hear more about that next time. So yeah. Thank you for an incredible 2025. See you in the new year, and happy Winter's Day. Now, okay, we do slightly have to talk about the elephant in the room here. Many of you guys will be aware of the fact that there are quite a lot of rumors surrounding Guild Wars 3 and a potential sequel to Guild Wars 2. Job listings, all that kind of good stuff for an unannounced MMO project. And one of the things that I was actually really looking out for here was actually a confirmation of another Guild Wars 2 expansion or some kind of commentary regarding the future of Guild Wars 2 and indeed the future of the studio. Like, where are we going with ArenaNet? And to be clear, I don't actually view this in a negative light whatsoever. Like, I am very much in favor of ArenaNet expanding, not having all of their eggs in one basket, and trying new ideas, trying new things. So I'm not coming at this from like a doom perspective. Quite the opposite, in fact. However, I do find it very interesting that we haven't mentioned a Guild Wars 2 expansion here for 2026. That is very interesting to me. Now, why do I find that interesting? Well, like, reason number one, here is an article from 2023. This was, here we go. This was posted on December 21st, 2023, just a little bit after the release of Soto. And I'm not sure a lot of people have seen this quote, but this is an interview with Grouch, Josh Davis, who's of course ArenaNet Guild Wars 2 Overlord. In terms of the future, we're actively working on an expansion for 2024, Janthir Wilds, and planning one for 2025. So to be clear, guys, they confirmed VOE just after Soto came out. Now, I am obviously going to acknowledge the context here was different. This was after basically coming out of a pretty rocky period of uncertainty and development. So they wanted to say, yeah, we are going to be working on this game. We're committed to this yearly model. So yeah, I get it. The context here is different. They're really trying to say, yeah, lots of stuff for Guild Wars 2 in the future. We're not giving up. We're persisting with this model. We're going big into the future with this. So it's not quite the same situation. But my argument would be is, ArenaNet know there's a lot of rumors about this. There's a lot of rumors. People can see the job listings, right? There was the NCSoft incident, right? Where that kind of got people rustled as well about this. And, you know, that one I don't tend to rely on because, again, there were some translation things that were going on there that makes it a little bit unreliable as I understand it. But, again, this is sus. Because to me, if we're making another expansion, why not drop it, right? Like, we're in a time of slight anxiety about the future of the game, right? Where there is this rumor going around. We've had a sick expansion. People are super engaged with VOE right now. It's great. I'm a big fan of it. I played VOE. I think I played VOE on launch. Yeah, I definitely played VOE on launch more than Soto and Janthe combined, right? Yeah, big fan, loving it, awesome. So why not say, yeah, we're already hard at work on the next part of Guild Wars 2's future. We're already hard at work. There's going to be an expansion in 2027. Because bear in mind, they know, right? Like, they know the answer to that question. Because, again, you can see here that the way that they plan their development is multiple years in the future, right? Like, even in Soto, they knew that they were going to be shipping VOE. And yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes a lot of sense that they would plan that far. That's how these large game studios operate. So, to be clear, guys, they know if there is an expansion or not. It's not like, oh, we're not sure if we're shipping it. No, they know it's a yes or a no in terms of if there's going to be one. But the question is there, right? Like, how close are we to that other project? Is that other project going to be like a main focus of the studio over the next coming years? It's a good question. And to be honest, I'd like to know the answer to that question, because I'm obviously a big MMO enthusiast. I'm excited for new games. Like, I watch these new MMOs rise and then crash and burn. And I tell you what, if there's any studio that can make a new good MMO, ArenaNet's at the top of my list, guys. That's why all these rumors are so exciting to me. All these job postings about this new Unreal Engine MMO in an existing universe are so exciting. Because if anyone can make a good one, it is ArenaNet. In fact, if I made like a list of companies that I would trust to make a new, good MMO product, without a shadow of a doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that ArenaNet would by far be the top candidate. Like, some people might say Riot, but look, that one's way off anyway, right? But when it comes to like proven track record of making good MMO products, it's ArenaNet. For sure. So I do want to hear about this, and I get it. It's probably a long way off, and there's probably they probably don't really have anything to directly share with us regarding what this new project might be. Hell, is it something completely different to Guild Wars 2? Like, who knows? Like, we don't know how they'd go. ArenaNet is a company that, again, might get spicy. They might come up with some crazy stuff that perhaps we're not expecting. But what's happening? When is it happening? Is it happening? And what does that mean for the future of Guild Wars 2? Because again, like, if let's assume that Guild Wars 3 or whatever it's going to be called is going to kind of pop off. What does that mean for the future of Guild Wars? Are we going to keep doing expansions alongside that? Are we going to have some other kind of development there that's maybe more akin to Living World instead? These are all big questions. I can tell you for a fact that no matter what happens, Guild Wars 2 is going nowhere. And I actually think, I'll tell you what, guys, this is where you get a little bit tinfoil. I do think that Guild Wars Reforged, part of that is potentially reassuring players we aren't going to drop Guild Wars 2. There was a clip of Colin, I believe, talking on an extra live stream a while ago, talking about how they kind of regretted not keeping Guild Wars 1 going, and now we see the fulfillment of that with Reforged. And yeah, it is pretty obvious that they are trying to say, hey guys, look, we can run more than one game at the same time. And I would not be surprised whatsoever if the plan was to essentially run all three of these products simultaneously. And we've seen they can do a lot with a small team as well. With 2 weeks coming in on Guild Wars 1, they've already, it's funny, we're about 2 weeks into development and we've already got a hardcore mode, and we're starting to work on kind of like a bit of a, dare I say it, a bit of a remaster to the Prophecies campaign. Yeah, they are very much capable of doing this, and they've already proved it, in my opinion, with how they're currently developing both of these games at the same time. And of course, bear in mind, they're also developing another project. In a way, they're already doing this, right? They're developing Guild Wars 1 actively in live development. We are developing Guild Wars 2 in live development. And there is unannounced project in development. Obviously, it's not a live product, but it's in development now. They're doing something. Like, that's indisputable. We don't know exactly what it is. We don't know when it's coming out, but they are absolutely developing an unannounced project. Like that, I mean, look, they say it themselves, right? On their recruitment pages, right? So I'm feeling very excited, I have to say. I am feeling very excited. I'm obviously it's a bit spicy, right? Because it feels kind of weird that we've just kind of smashed it with Visions of Eternity, but we could be going to 3 pretty soon. I don't know. It's, you know, I wouldn't, it's not something I'd make really crazy, strong statements on just yet. It's too early, but I am a little bit sus. You know, my eyebrow is raised. If I could do a really good job of raising one eyebrow in particular, kind of some of those sus emotes, I would do that. But yeah, I suppose that's kind of my take on this, my kind of rambling take on what's going on with the studio at Guild Wars 2. I might talk about this a little bit more. I might do a more structured video discussing this because I think it's a really interesting topic. And I do think that, I don't even know. I don't even know what ArenaNet should do about this. I think they're in a really tough position, to be honest, because they don't want to like defuse the Guild Wars 2 hype by saying, oh yeah, by the way, guys, right? You know, we're releasing our new game soon, so watch out for that, right? They obviously don't want to go there, right? But I think they can maybe do this indirectly. Like, what does the future of Guild Wars 2 look like in general? Like, what's the development looking like for 2026? Or rather, post-VOE, rather, because obviously VOE is going to be in 2026, right? Like, how is this looking? Where are we going with Guild Wars 2 development? We've had our 3 expansions now that were planned for a long time. What's being planned later on down the line? I don't know. I would obviously love to hear about it. And well, I very much hope that we do get some kind of communication about that. But yeah, I think that'll do it. This is maybe something that we can talk about a little bit more. Maybe we need a tea time. Maybe we need a dedicated video. But I am really curious. What do you guys think about all this stuff? Like, not only about the roadmap in general, or rather the studio update, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm just some kind of conspiracy-brained crazy on this stuff? What do you guys think about the unannounced project? What do you think about the future? And honestly, like, I'm curious, are you gamers excited, right? Like, would you want a Guild Wars 3? Would you want all of these 3 games running in parallel at the same time? Like, I think I'd definitely be down for that. That's more content for me, playing a little bit of Guild Wars 1, 2, and 3. I love that. But are you guys into that kind of stuff? What would you even want to see? Like, how would you want this to work? How would you want this model, this approach to developing the franchise to actually operate? Or yeah, speaking of franchise, you know, another thing, if you want to get really conspiracy brained, you want to get really conspiracy brained, guys, you can look at how some of the branding with Guild Wars. If you look at their Guild Wars Twitch channel, it just says Guild Wars now, which is very exciting, I think, very interesting. But anyway, that'll be enough for me. That's enough conspiracy talk and crazy stuff for a while. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and are looking forward to the next update. Very exciting indeed. Of course, I wish you all a very happy holidays with this rather lovely, wholesome image of the Starlit Wheeled kind of boss arena with some kind of snow going on there as well. Happy holidays to all of you guys. Hope you had a fantastic year. Here is to 2026 coming up pretty soon. Another year of streaming, another year of content creation, another year of gaming. We're going to make it even better than this one, okay? I actually streamed every day this year. It was, some of them were a little bit scuffed, multiple scuffed streams. We'll see what we can do about making that even more consistent, even more Omega gaming coming through in 2026. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Follow, subscribe, buy the game using my referral link, follow my stream, subscribe on YouTube, watch on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube as well. We've got 220 people watching my stream live right now on YouTube. How many have we got on Twitch? 650. So YouTube, not quite able to compete as of right now But look, I'll tell you what though, YouTube does pop off during like X-Pack announcements. I think during the VOE X-Pack announcement, I think YouTube actually had more than Twitch. So you guys need to rise up and become powerful. But anyway, that's it. Follow, subscribe, links in the description to the articles that I've posted here, links in the description to the referral link and all that other kind of good stuff. Take it easy, my friends. I'll see you next time.